is being recorded.
This is a project really that FAFSA started back in 2014 in the move to have our students learn digitally. And we brought together over 3 years in our partnership with Apple, we brought together teachers from across the state, over 400 teachers, to help us design courses that have digital materials aligned to the Florida standards. There's in the catalog, we've got almost 200 courses, and we're going to show you how to use them and what's all included. And it goes from grades K through 12. We've got 30 CTE courses, and it has really been a great resource. There's over 25,000 digital resources available to teachers, parents, students. And the greatest thing and why this was such a great platform when we started is because it's free access to anyone with an iTunes Apple ID. So it's accessible, and it's something that it's really intuitive once you get into it, but we're so fortunate to have Kate Kemper with us today from Apple. She's a development executive and has been a partner with FAFSA since the very beginning of this program. We didn't know that we would need it in this kind of instance, but boy, are we so glad that we did it and that we have this opportunity to share it once again with everyone. So, Kate, I'm going to turn it over to you and kind of let's just dive in and see where we can go.
Great. And I am so excited, too, to be able to be part of this and to show off and talk about the project that we've done. It has been awesome to be participating with so many different people and just the opportunity that we have to keep this going. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through and give you kind of a presentation about Avenue for Success and what it is. And then at the end, we'll take some questions. Then I'm going to go into the iTunes U Course Manager and show you what you can do and how it works. So if that works for everybody, that's kind of what the plan is. And if you don't mind muting, I think during the presentation, that would be our best bet so that we can make sure you can hear everything that it's about. And then we'll go into the next part where I'll talk about, again, how we get into that. So awesome. Okay. So this is just about getting to know what Avenue for Success is, what the project is, and how we've worked together. iTunes U has been a platform that Apple has been around for quite a few years. It's been a cornerstone of providing open educational resources. And we've actually been in the middle of transitioning out of iTunes U eventually to some other formats, but this one is still available. It's still working, really viable. And what's great is to have such a great group like FAFSA who's been supporting it. So one of the things I'm going to talk about is what it is, what are the resources, and then I'm going to show you again how you can create a course and how you can take that course back and do your own with it. So the Avenue for Success comes about because it is aligned with the standard. It is aligned with the current standards, the ones that that will still be enforced for next year. It's been vetted by teachers, and the exciting part is it's being embraced by students. So this is a great way where you as a teacher can have content and resources that your students can enroll in and be part of. And I'll show you some of how that can work and how you can do that. So the next part is this is kind of what it looks like. If you can see here, this is what the app looks like on the iPad. The same app is also available on the iPhone. Within it, on the left, you'll see that those are the resources that are available. You can have all type of resources that are there. You can have audio files, video files, books, apps, and even web links. So those are the things on the left. Those are the main pieces of content that you can distribute. On the right, you'll see where Merriam-Webster is, how stuff works, all of that. Those are actually the different resources that are there. Along the bottom of the app, there'll be info, which gives you an overview of the course. There'll be the posts, the notes that students can take, and then the materials that can be downloaded. A lot of this content comes from different apps, different books, and different iTunes U courses and materials. That has now begun to transfer over. You can actually bring in TV content, you can bring in podcasts, you can bring in a lot of different content. And what's exciting about it is how even in the books you're going to be able to link to directly to that chapter and be able to showcase what it's like. So here are some of the course materials that you can make available. You can have documents, you can have audio and video files, you can have PDFs, you can have presentations, so students can actually download or you can upload different presentations. You can have multi-touch books, you can have EPUB books, you can have iOS apps, you can have web links. All of this is available within iTunes U within the courses. In regards to apps, you can see there's a plethora of apps. There's a lot of different things. You can actually go to Google Classroom. You can go out to Microsoft Office. There's a lot of PHET. There's just a lot of different apps. But one of the things I do want to clarify, and this is an important part, that if you're in a school district that has managed Apple IDs, and we'll follow up with you on this, if you're in a school district using managed Apple IDs, we'll need to work with you on how students can access the apps. Because often that means they have to be within the VPP and what you've already adopted. So that's just a thing we want to put off. We've got grade levels for everyone from K through 12. It is across the board.
Go higher, no, stop.
We just need to have, if everyone could put their phone on mute this time while Kate is talking, that would be really helpful. There should be a little microphone button where you can press mute and unmute.
Thanks, Michelle. So the development of the courses, what we did, just to give you this, and I believe these are still made available, is for those who weren't on a Mac device, on an iPad, these are the way we did it. We actually used it through Trello so that individuals could log in and curate. So that was our beginning tool in which individuals could go in and they could begin to think about what they were doing. The second thing we did was, you can see here in Trello what it looks like and where the information came from and how it was grouped together. So we did a lot of this work, and I believe those Trello boards are available. If not, I'll make sure I work with Michelle to make sure everybody has them. So this just sort of gives you an idea of how the workflow went. We have all this content out there that's existing. We said, wait, how can we make it available into one spot? So that's when we came together with a Trello board and said, this is how we're going to begin to group the information. And then from there, we put it into iTunes U. So there was a definite vetting process, so we wanted to make sure there was a way that we kept reviewing and looking at it. And even now we're going back and reviewing some of the content. We also had CPOMs, which came out, which was a great resource that allowed us to put that content inside of iTunes U. So those resources are also available. And then there's also some content that has been uploaded from teachers that was available and publicly available for free. So this is what Avenue for Success looks like. If you're on a Mac, it's going to come up inside of your Apple Music app. If you're on an iPad or an iPhone, the app will be downloaded and will work directly on that. So what we're thinking for the next step is we want to make sure you download the free iTunes U app on your iOS device, explore some of the courses, and then you can go in and enroll to become an instructor. Very simple process. I can show you the different portions of what it looks like, and then you can enroll and get iTunes U Course Manager. And what will happen is Michelle will send you a copy of these courses. So since the courses are already done, for example, you're looking at United States government. You could say, I'm teaching United States government. Can you send me a copy of that course? And what she'll do is she'll give you a copy of the course, which means you'll get all of the resources, all of the materials, all of the different things that are available. You will now have access to them, and you can share them out with your students. So it's a very, very simple little process. So I'm going to take you through that right now. Shut that, and I'm also going to stop sharing so that we can have any questions. Any questions?
We did have one that was submitted through a chat on, it could be used on any device. And so my response to that was, yes, you can use it on any device and access the courses, but of course it works best, looks best on an iOS device. Certainly an iPad, I feel like has been the easiest way to access the courses and really interact with the content well is through an iPad.
And that's correct. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go into Safari. I'm going to share the screen again. And what I've done is I've logged in here, and I'm actually logged in as one of the instructors for the FAFSA course. So you can see here, and I'm in a Safari browser. It also works in a Chrome browser and an Internet Explorer browser. You can see all of the different courses that we have listed here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go actually into the Algebra 2 course. And we'll make sure you have a link of what that looks like. So here I am in the Algebra 2 course. And what you can see is on the information that's here, you can see the instructor. And you're going to have full ability once this course is copied to you to go actually into, and let me just adjust for a moment. You could go in and you can actually adjust these settings. So you could say it's going to be, you're going to become the instructor. You're going to be able to put that information in there. You're going to have access to all of that. So there's the course settings. If you want to rename it for your district, you could do that. You could also go in and be the instructor. You can put in yourself. You can even have contributors. So there might be a way that you say, I've got some other teammates within my school. Let's share this course together. How can we work together? And then the licensing agreement, which you can change because you're going to get a copy, is you can make it that it's attribution just reserved. Those are all the parts that are there. It's part of the Creative Commons so that you can go back in and look at that. So I'm going to go over here. One of the things you have to do first is there's an outline. And this is kind of the structure you have to go through. And we're going to provide a guide to you that you can access and go through. But it's very simple. And in fact, I would just keep this guideline the outline the way it is. And so what you do is you go in, and I'm going to go into the first one. I'm going to add a post. And here I am inside of the numbers and quantity. And I can see that there's one post. And if you look on the left here, where it says numbers and quantity, different information there. It says numbers and quantity, the complex number system, algebra. You can see the numbers right there are actual posts. That's where the information is. So now if I go into solving equations, you're going to see what the summary is, what the standard alignment is, the overview. It's very simple. We kept it that way, but you can add more context into that. And then here we have what's the practice. So the student will be seeing the same exact thing as you. That's the one thing about this is the student sees it as well as you at the same time. In addition, as you go in, you can yes, go ahead.
I'm just going to interrupt for a quick second. I think some people are just seeing a blank screen and not your whole screen. I don't know if it's off center or if you could like maximize, but I think what they're just seeing is like the white background and not what you're showing. I see what you're showing. Does that help for anyone?
I hit a button. Did that help?
Okay, there we go. We got some nodding yes. So I think that's better. Oh, and somebody else.
I didn't have it. I get probably what happened. Absolutely. And honestly, I will tell you, I haven't shared with Safari browser on this. I've done it with Keynote, and I didn't know. So thank you for checking in and letting me know.
Okay, so, and there's still some seeing a blank screen. I don't know how to fix that, Kate. I don't know enough about it. It says it's still white or a blank screen.
Let me see if I can do one more thing. Let's try another. I'm going to try another method so we can get everybody seeing it, making sure.
I can see fine.
Okay. All right. Because it should be recording fine. That's the part. That's the most important part. And maybe that's where it will come back. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go back to the Macs and, oh, sorry.
Oh, now it went away.
Yeah, that was me. User error. Happens a lot. Okay, so what you can do now is you can actually go in, and if you tap on Edit, you're going to have the ability to go in and add additional assignments. So what's great about this is that a lot of the work has been done by already having the standards in there, already having the information. So if you tap on Add Assignment, you would title this, we're looking at solving, and now you have the ability to go in and attach material, and you can do something from your computer. If it's something from your computer, it's something you could upload. Maybe you have an image, maybe you have a document that you want the students to download. You can do that. You can also upload maybe a presentation or anything like that. You could also go and get a web link and paste it in. So if I have iTunes or Store, I would tap in here a web link and paste it in. Let's see what my last web link is. That's not it. But you could tap in a web link and put it right there. You could also attach material from your own materials, or you can search the Apple Store. And so if I'm looking for something for equations, I'm going to do a search. And what it's going to do now is it's going to search all the different stores. And it will go to the App Store, it'll go to the books, it'll go to music, iTunes U, podcasts, TV shows, and even movies if you want to watch a movie. But you can see, like, what's great about this is even in the podcast, you might be able to find some additional information right there. There's some great podcasts that are out there. There's additional iTunes U content that maybe you want to borrow something from somebody else's material that's already existing out there. You can add even other courses or content. But that's the great part about this is you're going to be able to edit and add in what you want to do. So that's the simple part. Also, if you want to go back and let's say I'm in an area in an outline, if I want to add additional, I can tap right here at the very top. Notice I'm tapping next to FAFSA. I'm tapping on that, and I can even add a new post in, and I can place that post wherever I like. Again, we've got some great documents that kind of take you over this and what it is, but the posts go within the different headings so that you can add those in assignments. There's the list of all the materials, as I had mentioned before, that are available within this course. And then here's the administrator. Now, what you need to do is to invite students is you can send them the code. And when you send them the code, then the students will be able to have access to the course. And that's a very simple process by making it available. Over here in the main, inside of the iTunes U Course Manager, you have the ability to send out an enroll code, and that would be the code that you could email your students and that they would be able to access the course and their device, and they could be able to see what's going on. Questions? I know that FAFSA, we also have sites right here that are just give you a little basic of how to do it. You'll need to set up your instructor. It's very simple. You can go through and do that. In addition, you can go to the FAFSA website and really look at the different courses that are available that you might be able to do things with, FAFSA.net. And you can look at all of the different courses that they have available within this.
If you go back to the top, that slider bar, next image will be the Avenue for Success one.
Thank you very much. And there we go.
We had a question
about all of the courses.
Yeah, and we had a question about the course being specific to the instructor and their students. The answer to that is that in the form it is right now, if you were just to use the courses that are on this webpage, no, it is not specific to you. However, I just put in the chat bar my email address, mwhite@fasa.net. And if you'll send me an email with the specific course, like the name that's listed there on our website, what I will do is duplicate the course and give it to you so that then you have full editing rights. You can add your students in, you can add your digital resources to it. You can take things out and customize it completely for your students and your classroom. So I just need to know your Apple ID and the specific course or multiple courses that you'd like, and I'm happy to do that. What that's going to do and look like on when I send that to you, you're going to get an email wherever your Apple ID connects to say that you have been granted access. And then from there, you can go forward. So you need your own Apple ID, which, Kate, they can do that at apple.com, correct? If they don't already have an Apple ID, they can get that on the website and sign up for one, correct?
Correct. And it's free.
Okay. Yeah, and it's completely free. And again, you know, the materials in these courses, I can't promise that every single one of them is free. So there's certain apps and you know, websites that might require a subscription that, you know, if your district had those opportunities to purchase for students, you could do that. But there are a ton that are free. And I'll tell you this week, so you all have seen my little one who is in kindergarten, and we've been home for the last 2 weeks already. I was able to go into some of the kindergarten and first grade courses. There were worksheets in there on math. There were apps for English language arts that have really been engaging for him. So I've been able to go in there all free. I haven't paid for a thing yet, and I've been keeping him busy for the last 4 days. Another question that we have, Kate, can more than one instructor work in a classroom? And
Yes.
we can add more instructors as well, as long as they have an Apple ID.
The courses we have up right now in the FAFSA will stay as they are. We'll only provide you a copy because we don't want more instructors changing what's publicly out there. These are publicly accessible courses. When we give you a copy of the course, it becomes private, and only you and the individuals you invite to be part of that will be in that course.
And then, Kate, if we're going to access this on a Mac computer versus an iPad, so on the iPad, you have to download the iTunes U app, but if they're using it on a MacBook, how would they access that?
On the Mac, it's going to be a little bit different looking. You're going to really just be able to see the materials and the resources. You're not going to really be able to see the structure that's associated with it. I can work on getting you a copy of the structure, but you're only going to see the resources that are available.
And I think that also may have answered the question about, can I use the courses without having iTunes downloaded on my computer? And then we did have the question about how about a Windows computer? So in that respect, how would they do that on a Windows?
On the Windows, you'll be able to see a preview of the information and the content that's available, but the apps themselves are really designed to work on an iOS device. So you'll be able to see those materials in that, but you won't be able to see all of the structure.
But they'll be able to edit, like you were showing that last portion, they'll be able to do that on any device from like a Safari browser, correct?
Or a Chrome browser or an internet browser.
Just let me know.
Okay. Are there any additional questions?
Bye.
I am so sorry.
Can I ask one?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get in touch with Brock. I hate to sound so ignorant about this, but I don't have all my students uploaded to Quality.
I didn't hear that very well. Could you speak a little louder? I'm sorry.
Who's the contact to get all my students?
the fuck?
Michelle, we're not hearing you right now.
Oh no. There we go. I'm sorry. I said what I said. Your first step is going to be to once you know what course you're going to ask for, you're going to put an email to me, mwhite@fasa.net, with the specific name of the course and your Apple ID. Once you have access to the course, once I duplicate it for you and I give you that full access, you add your students into the course. And your students will need their own Apple IDs as well. Are there other questions? All right. Well, we're here to be a resource for you. And I am so glad that, again, that we embarked on this project so many years ago and that it's been helpful now. If there are any kind of questions along the way, please feel free to reach out to me. I see that there's one more question here. And Kate, maybe you can help with this too. Is there any sort of tracking to see what students have completed so that they can help them if they get stuck?
Great question. Yes, there is a way, and that's what's great about this is you can have a discussion within it that's a private discussion between you and that student, and you'll be able to see how much time they've spent on different aspects of the work, and you'll be able to see if they've completed some different tasks. You can't see it always within the app, but there's other ways that you'll be able to go in and see that information, and we can give you a little more detailed of what that looks like and what it looks like from the student perspective.
The other thing that I will make sure to email out once you've requested your courses, I will also send you the PDF of directions and like a manual of how to do all of these things step by step, so that you have that as an additional resource. So I'm so fortunate that we have already got some of these things built, and that Apple really, they've got it all streamlined for you. So you can certainly. The other thing too, I want to encourage you to do is if you're finding resources that are helpful in your classroom that we could also include in the courses as well that FASA is hosting, please let me know. Let me know what that looks like. Give me a standard or a specific, try to be as specific as you can, so that we can add that in. And if you are finding that you're building courses on your own that maybe we don't have, we'd love to talk about how we can include that in our library. So absolutely, if we can add into this library as long as we have teachers like you that are willing to dive in and help us curate this content. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Kate, thank you again. We did record today's webinar, so we're going to post that on the Avenue for Success page. You can rewatch this and access it. Certainly email me. And then Kate, I'm sure you're always around too to answer some questions if you don't mind. If they ask and their questions are above my pay grade, I will send them your way.
Absolutely. We're just really excited about the opportunity to be really sharing Avenue for Success. This is great.
So much. Thank you, everyone, for all that you're doing for our students. We know that this is trying times, but really, this is our opportunity to show everyone how we educate students no matter what, and to give them a high quality education. And We're looking forward to it. So thank you, and I hope to talk to you all soon.
Be safe, everybody.
Safe. Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.